All right. Probably setting up for a quiet Wednesday, at least for a few hours. Could be a dead Wednesday, though. We'll find out, but I still need to paint, regardless. So let me go get a beverage. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So today is gold day. Which is kind of requiring me to pull out a bunch of my hoplite gold. Because it might be a bit. And I'm already feeling a few of them are like light. So we might have some issue. Key thing on sisters in particular. Main things to gold, they usually have like a medallion, sometimes belt buckles, left kneecap is usually a big one, middle of the neck, shoulders, back of the helmet, the border around their little power pack here, and then the symbol that's there. So not the worst. A lot of it is about accuracy, though. Which is why we have the liner brush. Usually they also have some kind of buckle on their main chest armor area. Technically not as bad as... Oh, also we gotta look at the guns, too. Because the guns usually have a symbol on them. Not as bad as the guns, though. Since sometimes a lot of the metallic components have a lot of, like, dips and BS that you gotta deal with. That DATASLATE though. Kind of want to see what my neighbor's doing. He hired someone last year to expand his driveway, and I don't know what happened there. I saw him like outside yelling at the people that did it, and it looked very bad. Like, it looked like they had no idea what they were actually doing. That like they just bought some asphalt and hoped. And either he didn't like it, or there is an HOA in this spot. And the HOA yelled at him for doing it, because it looked terrible. Alright, 1 gold down. Looks like a handle. Because they got some heavy equipment out there right now. Just slamming away. I want to open my window, but pretty sure my microphone will pick it up. I need to hold off on putting corrective paint into the palette. If I put too much corrective paint in the palette, I'm going to be like spending so much time just correcting things. I need to save it for like the last component of this paint job. Just put all like the baseline paints, the golds, the burgundies, the purples, just get them all together and just go. after gold, it's leather strapping. So I'm gonna have to have a micro detail stage where maybe I get the emerald together. Because there's at least a few characters here that have book covers. Missed the rosary on this one. I want to work here. I'm pretty sure this camera neck keeps lowering. So let me just... get that out. Not seeing, like, the prices of the Catan went up, but I'm not really seeing much in the way of, you know, trying to reassess them. I guess making the Silent King's auras not work for them is nice. Making the Shattered Legion detachment stuff not work for him is nice. The +1 to wound, I guess that's fine. Still, though, the fact that the smaller variant Catans, like the Deceiver and all that, have the same stats, like, it's kind of ridiculous that the ones that are on tiny bases survive as hard and hit as hard as the ones on the giant bases. That's a little out there for me. Like, losing whole ass demon princes to the shooting of a of the deceiver, a little weird. Not gonna lie. Because they are so easy to hide. I still got to sort out a list that I like using. Annoyingly, I feel like that list is going to involve me wanting to get my hands on another Land Raider. Maybe 1 or 2 more rhinos for Emperor's Children. Because I think Rapid Evisceration sucks. I think I still want to play it. And it's whatever. Part of me thinks Games Workshop's trying to get people to use more Tormentors too, and I don't know why. I get that they're kind of interesting, and I get that the best variant of them is a 10-man squad. But they just lowered the price on Flawless Blades and Tormentors. Specifically full-scale Tormentors, not like the 5-mans. But I think they're really trying to push the idea of 4 plasma guns, 4 multi-guns, and a plasma pistol, all with precision, being really good. Which, maybe. In Rapid Evisceration, you could put a 10-man Tormentor squad or 2 5s into a Rhino, and then that Rhino suddenly has access to 2 multi-guns with rerolls, 1s to hit, 1s to wound. That's kind of cool. I don't know if it's strong, but it's cool. I don't care what you think as long as it's about me. I just wish that those squads were like at the tier and level where you would be worried about running into melee with them, but they aren't. Because I feel like in current meta, the whole point is to toss like very durable large squads on like the mid objective and just be like, come at me, bro, because that's what keeps working for me and my 1,000 Suns. It's just toss that 10-man into middle. Terminators, keep the DP near it. I've even had success dropping the DP on mid with the Terminators behind the wall. Gotta pull people in, 12-inch. Cool with you trying to kill a DP. T10. Just sitting on middle objective. I hate that the most interesting detachments for me are the ones that do the worst. Why? I want to play the Zhang detachments so hard. Like, that is key on my list of fun things I really want to do. And genuinely, I was planning on mastering it back before they nerfed it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy like 20 more Zangors. I was getting ready. I was going on that journey. Only to have it just die. Like right away. I think it was like a month later they did the DATASLATE that was like, yeah, stop it. Don't do this. You don't get to play this way. No. Because, like, thinking about that detachment, I'm just like, oh, I could still deep strike a, I could still deep strike a friggin' Mutilith. Spoilers, it's not a good idea. Most of the time, your opponents are going to have enough screening that you're not going to be able to drop it in a place that works. It's going to have to come down on the back line. It's going to have to be in line of sight of things to shoot. Which means you're just going to walk in and off the table edge, so you don't even need to spend the command point. Like, it's... I don't know, man. None of it feels useful. Like, they have rules, it's just the game is so much more interesting in a different direction. It makes their rules feel needless. Because, like, goddamn. It's kind of crazy, the idea of, like, the goal to balance the game is to make sure that the overall faction win rate is within a certain range, right? I don't think that's the way that the balance needs to go, because if you have 3 detachments that are being played that suck and are rocking like a 20% win rate, and then you have 2 that are rocking a 60, I feel like there's a disconnect there. Because the last couple of weeks, Hexwarp Thrallband has had a 60% win rate. And yeah, it's probably just like one person playing them in one region, so it's like, alright, that's fine, I guess. But the only thing that was doing any kind of damage Tzeentch side was Scintillating. And Scintillating was what got nerfed. Everything else just kind of like skirted by. So the DPs with wings and everything that are shredding people in Hexwarp, the Terminators that are the reason friggin' Phalanx and Hexwarp both win, untouched. 60% win rates. Well, 60 and like 54 or something, 55. Meanwhile, in the Warp Meld Pact, it's like a 30% win rate. So obviously the detachment itself needs to be looked at. But they're not going to, because they're just going to make everyone have to play, like, Hexwarp and frickin'... Like, yeah, that's so bad. I don't get it. Like, I wouldn't mind Hexwarp Thrallband being nerfed to like a 50% and then Warp Meld being upped to a 50% somehow. Like, if both those things can exist, that'd be great. Because that should create variance in tournament play. As opposed to just being like, yeah, there's this one detachment in each faction that does really well in tournaments. Everything else is kind of mid. It's like, alright, man. Because Warp Meld is all about the MVBs. And, like, this is where the detachments, I think, really shined. An MVB is okay. I don't think there's a person in the world that looks at an MVB and thinks that's God tier. No, it's okay. In Warp Meld, it was great. And that's kind of like all you really want is, like, I want this unit to be great when I use it. So I'll go the detachment meant for it that makes it great. And I kind of like that idea. Because, I mean, that is just the universal idea, right? Like, Terminators are awesome. In Hexwarp and Phalanx, they're insane. And it's that level of variance that's just like, ugh. But Terminators aren't too incredible in Warp Meld. So when it comes to building a list in Warp Meld, I don't like the idea that I'm looking at my like rules and abilities and going, man, I gotta get some of these Terminators in here, or I'm not gonna be able to do anything. At which point, like, you kinda have to just play a list that really likes Terminators. But maybe I just need to get 120 Zangors and go. Throw a squad of Zangors in middle, you start shooting at them, I pay the command point to give them a 4-up invuln, and we just settle on what happens. Another gold. This is a very slow process, though. Like, some of them are like, ah, cool, I only need a couple. Like, this one doesn't have anything under the knee, so that's nice. It's got its little Imperial Rosary symbol. Cool. I'm gonna do the crazy thing and paint gold on the buttons. Check the belt real quick. Get some of the belt buckle gold. Bolter makes me not see anything on the chest and stomach, which is great. That's a lot of gold detail I don't need to paint. Yes! Symbol on the bolter. Bird. I don't think I've gotten the Army Painter satin matte that I ordered yet. I still need to look into whether I can get the green stuff. It's actually going to be kind of important. Vulcan even covers up the collar gold. That's good. I don't gotta give two shits. We're doing well. another gold. I think a lot of these champions with their gold are going to be an issue. There's still a fair bit of characters. Fire Mango. What's up? Welcome in to a slow, quiet Wednesday stream. Chepto. Painting, chilling, wandering. Coming in from my Spawncast heritage. Coming in because you saw a thumbnail with some Warhammer stuff. What we doing? Nice, nice. It's kind of the problem with me streaming at the times that I stream is literally I'm just looking for people who are like, yeah, I'm at work, I'm on break. It's like, all right. At least I can be some background noise. Oh, cool. Yeah, we chilling, we painting. If you're into 40K and you want to talk about any of that stuff, oh yeah. Well, okay. So I have weird days where I'll stream around this time on like a Thursday, and like my chat will be hopping, and I have no idea why. Hey, if you're into 40K, want to talk about the DATASLATE, that's cool. DATASLATE didn't do much. My flawless blades are cheaper. I don't think the Catan problem is going to be an issue. Oh, okay. Yeah, I came back for the end of 9th into 10th. I played 3rd through 5th when I was a kid, and I really wanted to get back into it. This is a commission job for a buddy of mine. Kill Team's great. My channel mostly did Kill Team stuff for a while. We actually talked about the recent Kill Team DATASLATE, which was pretty cool actually. We got to see what they're gonna do with some of the teams that got cycled out. So that was nice. But for me, the local scene for Kill Team is only so big. What's up, Virus of Nurgle? So I had to really get into the 40K side of things if I wanted to have more consistent games played. Oh yeah. I use Necromunda minis in 40K. The cultists that I have for CSM are all the waste, the guys from the waste. I'm trying to remember their name. The Wasteland Nomads, I think. They look great as cultists. Yeah, the Ash Waste Nomads. And that, I mean, you look at them and you can't not hear the sound of the frickin' Tusk Raiders from Star Wars. I mean, this is what it is. Yep, working on Adeptus Sororitas. My buddy bought them forever ago. It's one of the armies he wanted to play. He's not really driven to play them right now, but he wanted them painted. Because, you know, we got 11th on the horizon. He doesn't know what's going to happen. Maybe he'll want to bust these back out again. I'm painting about 3,000 points of Sororitas for him. At most, he had one that he started painting that I re-primed and then painted over. Oh yeah, the Jaggles. I don't play World Leaders though. But yeah, I use them in CSM. I was originally using them as a Thousand Sun cultists too. But we lost our cultists. Rest in peace. The Red Corsairs do look nice. And I do have, I mean, I play Thousand Suns, which means I have a Disciples of Tzeentch army. Ta-da! I do like AOS. I like it to a degree. I like that it's weirder than 40k. I like some of the rules. It's odd at times, though, and locally speaking, there's not, like, a big drive to play it. Spearhead, tons of people play. Like, they're cool with Spearhead, but you try to get them to play, like, a full game of AOS, and they're just like, eh. Which is a little annoying. I kind of like the new Disciple of Tzeentch rules now that I've heard about them. I went into this without a pre-established detachment idea. I can show you, though, what the overall plan is, because I have a ton of them painted. So, the people in general are painted white armor, gold helmets. Let me reactivate the focus. White armor, gold helmets. The weapons, though, have burgundy in them. Because the idea is, like, a lot of their weaponry comes from a place where burgundy is, like, sort of the way it looks. So when you get to, like, the Nundums, you've got the white armor on the Nundum, on the actual Nun inside, but then the vehicle itself is golden burgundy. You go to the full-fledged tanks and it's just bulk burgundy. But the pilots are usually the white and purple. Which I think I have to do the gold helmets on these before I really get too much farther. And then, of course, I decided to like make my life miserable by doing the robes as like the purple over, blue under. Oh yeah. But for me, AOS has like some interesting rules. I know people are mad that it killed Old World or whatever the freaking fantasy was. But if you ever want to play a game that genuinely feels almost narrative driven, that's definitely the way to go. Because the rules tend to be so extreme for armies that it's like difficult to assess the easy ways to play. Like 40k is pretty refined, easy to get to the statistical side of things. But like with the current Disciples of Tzeentch rules that I looked at through the online reveals, the harder I'm losing, the more options I have that are like straight game breaking. Like there's a character that apparently if I have enough fate points or whatever they are, if he has enough and you're about to like charge one of my units, I'm apparently able to spend the points in reaction and then uppy the unit. So like you get to the weird elements in AOS that you don't get in 40k. You kind of get it in Kill Team. Kill Team gets to weird places, which I like. That's why Kill Team's one of my favorite type of games. I mean, you say Mathhammer was to be mocked, but most competitive Warhammer at the time was literally the min-maxing of the gods. Like, people would play the Grey Knight list, which was like 2 squads. because it had better stat overviews than like anyone else in the game. So by the end of the game, if you killed 2 enemy units, or at least like a small number of enemy units, and then like didn't get tabled, there was no way someone could beat you. There was the Eldar with Warlock Death Ball, where it was just Warlocks and Guardians, and you had to roll like 1,000 dice every turn. The Death Ball was 3rd. I got hit by the Death Ball in 3rd edition, where someone busted out just an ocean of Guardians, and every turn would just point at a squad and go, do you want me to roll 1,000 dice or no? And then that was my life. It was kind of fun back then, because I built like weird lists. My eventual list was just like bulk frickin' pie plates, because that's what a lot of people leaned into over time. Because the pie plates tend to be really strong in general. Like, they were able to break armor pretty easily. Most of them came with guess, which was fantastic, since the average person could easily eyeball the distance between the gun barrel and where you wanted to shoot. So I was just double defiler all day long. Narrative gets weird though with the wrong kind of people, I'd probably say in it. Like, we were running a narrative event recently at the store. One of the people was hosting it. We haven't done it since the first iteration. We've kind of put it on hold. But the person running it was very explicit, like, try to run fun things, right? Like, do things you wouldn't normally do, blah, blah, blah. Don't just go for meta. And then, like, I guess everyone took that as, I guess I'm going to go for meta. Because if the person I'm playing against was told not to go to meta and then listened to them say, don't go to meta, that means they're going to play something that the meta can easily crush. So this is a good way for me to get some victories under my belt. Because, man, playing Change Host of Deceit pre the buffs to the Lord of Change and not even using the birds felt really good into, like, all the best units from Space Wolves. There was only one guy who came at me the entire narrative event with an army that was, like, just fun units that he made, that he just had on hand, and he was like, alright, let's do this. Oh no, they've got fun units. The fun units just kinda suck. So no one uses them. Like, I love the idea of Enlightened in 40k. Guess what's not good, though? They were fun for a while, and then everyone figured them out. And now I'm over here trying to make a jet bike army list. That's never going to work in competitive play. I'm still gonna do it, though. Yeah, but which past? Are you talking about the past that had flowcharts? I'm gonna tell you that that's not simpler. Like, none of that was simpler. That was obnoxious on an extreme level. Having to have people yell at each other over the arguments of whether or not they can see a facing on a vehicle because of an armor number. That was insane. Combat originally being about initiative numbers and whether or not you had frag grenades and were running into cover. Versus now, which is just I go, you go. I don't know if it's that confusing. Comparatively. Needing to determine weapon skill variance and difference because that's what determined the hit score. And then referring to a flowchart from it. I don't know, man. But that's what Horus Heresy is all about. But you're literally describing something easier. What the original system was needing to know what everyone's initiatives were off the rip. You don't need to know that anymore. Like, at all. That's the crazy part. Like, I've had to converse with so many people recently who bring this up like it's better to be like, oh, initiatives just make bigger number go first. It's like, all right, cool. You know what goes first now? The words fight first. Like, I don't know. I agree with a lot of people who talk about how, like, from the perspective of people who used to play who are like, I don't play anymore because it's not like it used to be. It's like, cool, those are the nostalgia glasses. That's fine. I guess. Like, I kind of get it because when I play a video game now, it's not like when I didn't have to pay taxes before. So it just feels worse, just in general. I'm not going to recapture that feeling. But even back then, I mean, when my buddy was playing NIDS into people and he would charge them and they were like, well, I'm in cover, I get to go first. And then he had to remind them that the frag grenade rule worked. Which meant his guys got to go. Yeah, you can go back to second or fourth. You could also just play Horus Heresy, which, I mean, that's the game they've literally designed as sort of like the McDonald's playpen for people who prefer the older system. Do you want to pay for specifically a Melt-A-Bomb to finish out your point scoring? Do you want to deal with force organization charts? Play Horus Heresy. That was the original videos that were dropped. That they were, yeah, they butchered it. But then they dropped that online thing, and now everyone's like, oh, I'm back in. Like, I literally watched the ocean of people on YouTube tell everyone to not play Horus Heresy anymore. And then they dropped that update, and now they're all like, alright, everyone get back into Horus Heresy. It's been fun. It's been fun watching the freaking whiplash of Horus Heresy in non-stop motion. But they basically just tossed it back to third. Force organizations, all that stuff. Pie plates, everything. It's all back, baby. And I don't want to play it at all. If you hate change that much, I don't know. It's fine, I guess. I'm just going with what I saw, which was just an ocean of people saying it sucked, suddenly start saying it was good again. Still, though, it's a game mode I don't really care to play. Not looking forward to the rumors of returning force organizations in 11th. Hopefully that doesn't end up being the case. No, they really don't. They really don't. Again, all that did was make the armies that had better battle line units just stronger in general. Which sort of forces everything to get watered down to having bad battle line units just universally. Gets rid of list flavor, like all the people who do like running full bikes. Nah, we're fine not doing it. As I've heard it said, if you want people to be forced to use the troop tax, make the troops enticing. They'll do it anyway. But if the entire army that you're playing is built around the idea of, oh, your troops suck a dick, but you have to have at least 2 of them. Okay. I guess I'll just put those on the back line and screen for deep strikes. Which is technically what happens now. I mean, cultists aren't super great at everything, so when Chaos Space Marines buy them, their goal is to usually just throw them in back. Because it's the cheapest way to do that. Technically, it's what I have to do with Thousand Suns if that's part of my plan, but I'm not buying rubrics, I'm buying Zangors. Which I actually don't even think are battle line. Pretty sure they're not. Pretty sure I have to go the mutant herd to make them battle line. See that or make them 2OC. They might be battle line. It's been a while since I looked at that crap. did attempt some things to try to force people into taking Battle Line. I think the last rule set dove into the idea that some of the side missions could only be done by Battle Line, which meant if you didn't take any Battle Line, you were basically foregoing points. I feel like they keep trying to tinker with ways to make people want Battle Line. I know in smaller scale games like 1,000 points, Battle Line all gets sticky. No, yeah, Force Organization charts were garbage. She whip, she cracker. Because, I mean, back when you and I played third, Force Organization chart just meant you had 2 Guardian squads you did nothing with. That was it. I had 2 small squads of Chaos Space Marines that didn't do anything. Because they were the hottest of garbage. I mean, that's what you did. You had all those jet bikes you were starting to build, and you're like, I guess I'll just put 2 fucking Guardian squads in back. Yeah, but the trick is you could forgo it and just not care. It's not the best idea to forego it. But it's kind of what allows Jack, if he wants to just leave his indirect tank on the back point. Because he doesn't have to leave people back there. He can just leave an indirect tank back there. Massively, technically helped out IG, but I feel like most IG players love troops in bulk. Like, they just do. Like I said, you don't even have to do it. Just make the units generally useful. Like, the thing that actually makes... I'm pretty sure Zangors are battle line. The thing that makes them useful is that regardless of what detachment you use, they have uppy downy. Tormentors, they have infiltrate and scout, or they have infiltrate sticky. Infractors have the scout, so they can scout friggin' vehicles up. So there's just value in having them. Guardians just are sad, since they're basically just like, hi, we're Guardians. And that's kind of the end of their conversation. But I don't know if here, take this garbage unit because you have to. It's such a good idea. I mean, at least back then it was like one of 3 garbage units. But who knows, maybe they bring back the do the missions in a day. Or do the side missions that require battle line. No, yeah, this slate wasn't great. This slate's gonna change nothing. Pretty much all of Star Shatter is just going to change to woe. The detachment that's the Destruction Cult or whatever it is, the one built around the new big destroyer guy, that's still just going to be good, like, in general. Because, like, the best versions of that list don't really involve Catan. It just involves the really big destroyer guy and then a bunch of little destroyer units. Like, I know people are talking about Pantheon because it's annoying to deal with 5 units that take 4 turns to kill each. But the reality is, if a person's playing the Destroyer Cult list and knows what they're doing, you're going to get tabled by turn 3. Like, it's very hard to not get tabled by that list. That's something I could see them do at some point. If you're gonna take a heroic character, you can only take 1. If the heroic character has like a heroic bodyguard unit that it can take as well, it'll probably say something on his like ability to be like, if you take this guy, you can take his bodyguard unit with him. But like beyond that, it's just like that one game we saw, which was friggin' Pantheon of Woe versus Abaddon, Fabius Bile, Vashtor. Like, what the hell? What is that blend? Freaking Cypher. It's just Chaos Pantheon. That's all it was. If you want to build your list around an epic hero, that's fine. Maybe not all of them. Oh yeah, we got to watch it be less than. Granted, he did downspike his rolls like 4 times. He downspiked into Necron upspike over and over and over again. It was wild to watch. I mean, when he steps out there and he's like wounding on 3s, and he rolls like 20 dice and only retains 2 wounds. Ugh. I think the first time he did that, he audibly just said good game right afterwards. Which, yeah, I feel that. Like, you play enough games, you start to realize that you're going to have one roll that matters. And if you give it everything in your power to be good and it still fails, you may as well just shake hands. Yeah, that was wild when you were just like that DP and it just didn't work. No devs on a boatload of Devon friggin' Melta weapons. I'm still on the fence about either buying out a bunch of those Thousand Sun robots and running the armor division. Or buying the Land Raider and 1 Rhino. Or possibly triple Land Raider. Just turn 1, put 3 Land Raiders on objectives. Figure out if there's a way for me to put like a really decent character near the one in mid. That way he can sit there with the once per turn blanket damage on a nearby vehicle upgrade. Can you imagine that? A once a turn blanket damage on a Land Raider. Jesus. The fact that there's still only 5 of them and their rules suck. Even if you're planning on tossing them in mid, I just don't feel like that's a good reason to get Terminators. That was insane when I found out you could only take 5 Terminators. I was actually assuming, like, I started looking at their stats and I was like, maybe that's it. Maybe I have to take a squad of 10 and just put them in middle. I can put them in the detachment that has the upgrade for fights first, and I'll just throw a Cacophonist in there. And they'll just sit in mid shooting things with sustained hit combi weapons for mortals and shit. Just blah, 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 just killing everything. And if you ever go into combat with them, I just pop fights first and kill whatever I want in combat. And then I looked at it again, and it was like, you can take 1 leader and 4 smalls. And then that was it. And I was like, oh, no. Like, no one's talking about this either. Terminators are a key thing in a lot of Chaos Space Marine factions for just sitting at objectives and shit. Whether it's Death Guard, frickin' World Eater, not so much. But Death Guard, frickin' Thousand Suns, even to a degree, a lot of the lists that involve Abaddon or something over in CSM. And then, like, thinking about EC, I was like, oh, maybe that is actually the way to go. Frickin' 10 Termies with advance and charge and shoot. With the ability to advance, shoot a unit, get +1 to their charge roll or something. It's either +1 or full reroll. That's kind of awesome. Guess fucking what? That fucking sucks. Space Marine Terminators do suck, but it depends at what time. Frickin' the Space Wolf Terminators are actually really good. They have a really good character in them. They get the -1 to wound. Only if overstrength, though. So, like, they're pretty good. They have a lot of attacks each. But, yeah, generic are garbage. But, yeah. 5 Terminators only. Insane to me. Absolutely insane. Because, like, you take combi weapons in that squad. You have no reason to take combi bolters. Maybe you grab a Reaper autocannon. I don't know. You do whatever you can with chain fists. And yeah, they get to reroll charge rolls. And that's it. You just shoot. Which, think about it. Think about it, Rand. Think about it. I have to shoot every gun in my squad at you to get the reroll charge roll. Into the squad that I'm going to charge. Okay, I need to shoot as long as all the ranged attacks, if it makes 1 or more ranged attacks and all of those attacks target the same enemy unit. So the way, if you really want to, like, make a hard charge on someone, or even if you're, like, in an okay spot, but if you do enough damage in shooting, you might kill, like, half the squad. The best way to run this is to advance upfield, shoot 1 combi weapon at a unit near it. 1. And then get your charge reroll. Just 1. And I think this unit can only be led by a Lord Cacophonist, which only gives sustains in shooting, not melee. Yeah, ranged weapons get the sustain on it. So the worst element of the squad gets the best upgrade. It's so stupid. Reaper autocannon comes with sustain 1, damn it. Like, come on. Why are you doing this to me? If we get a new Lord that can go into a Terminator squad that actually makes them like kind of okay, I could see it. Because rather than sitting them in mid and being like, come at me, you could put them anywhere on the field and be like, there's a shot that I'm about to run 12 at you and charge you. Like, we are in with a shot. Like, there are detachments that are like, I'm going to advance at you. And then you just start moving them 12 and then pay a command point. Like, that is insane. But they don't get any damage reduction bonuses. Like, they don't get minuses to wound. Oh, they don't get a feel no pain. Nothing. They're just like, we're either alive or dead. We've got some anti-tank potential. And that's the end of the story. Which, like, I don't know, man. I'm hoping when the frickin' Defiler gets dropped in the EC, maybe they'll be like, oh, you guys can take Forge Fiends now or something. Like, we figured out a way to make 10 Terminators useful. I would take... Dude, if they made Sorcerers run in the squad of Terminators, I'd be happy. Even though his stats are technically less and his movement's greater... His passive is just guaranteeing benefit of cover. So, unless you can strip benefit of cover off of me, my Terminators can stand in the open in benefit of cover. How would I run them? I feel like you need... Whatever detachment you run these in needs to have something really, like, offbeat but good. Like, let me take a look at something. Because if you chucked a Cacophonist into it, the only reason to do that would be because you're running... where is it? Slanesh Chosen. Which Slanesh Chosen in one of those squads could be really good. Like, I think you straight up put a Cacophonist with a Power Sword in that squad. You give him the Eager to Prove enhancement, making them all move 8 inches flat. You don't have to shoot to get the charge rerolls, so you just get it, right? So you can technically run this squad up, shoot a whole ass unit that's like somewhere else, while still having a second unit to charge into, which you can just reroll your charges into. If they stay chosen, they get their +1 to wound in combat, I think. Or no, they get to reroll wounds. Which, whatever. I mean, I guess. But what I'm trying to figure out is, like, how do you apply something to them that's not crappy? Like, you can give them sustain 1 in melee. That's not great. You can give them a surge move, but, like, why? I think the main thing is adding 1 to the strength characteristic from this detachment. They're down there, definitely. I think, what, they're slightly more than Tormentors? What's a Tormentor now? Oh, no, they're still not. 2 Tormentor squads are equatable to almost a single Terminator squad, so I don't think you... I mean, I guess you Tormentor home, and then for the cost of 2 Tormentor squads, you can have an expansion unit that just sits there. Maybe. +1 to strength. Doesn't really help it. Strength 8. Maybe Phoenician? Maybe it's all about Phoenician with them. Because then you can take the 8 to a 10 when you charge. I don't know if it's value. Because you're pulling that value from other places. I'd have to reassess, because like at this point, people are still on the ball with the idea that 3 Noise Marine squads is basically what you're taking, unless you're Imperialist Bladesman. Imperialist Bladesman, you just go as many Infractors and Flawless Blades as humanly possible. And honestly, Terminators Imperialist Bladesman might actually be good. Like, that's probably where the best value for Terminators really are, is Imperialists, where you don't have to care about giving them a leader. You just toss them in cover. If someone wants to come over to you, you can just hard fuck on them using Peerless abilities. But, like, right now, what people do instead of the Terminator squad on expansion is they usually take 2 Mauler Fiends. And one of them goes to sit near the expansion. So we're looking at 155 versus 130. A Mauler Fiend is 25 points less. At much higher toughness. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15... 3 less wounds, and a slightly worse invulnerable with 4 more inches of movement. And that thing you can put in cover as well. I just don't take Maulers. I need to take Maulers. But, like, I don't take Maulers. Depends. You kind of want the Mauler to be damaged, though, because when the Mauler takes damage, it gets stronger. But it's still, like, 25 points less. The 3 damage, the 3 health breakpoint's nice, but you don't get anything that goes like -1 to hit. All you're getting is benefit of cover, which at this point, so many armies are like, what's that? Oh, command point, it's gone now. And you're like, all right, cool. 4-up saves. I have nothing to reduce the incoming damage. Maybe that's it. Which list had... There was a list that I know of. No, there's no disgustingly resilient. It's -1 to wound rolls. Yeah, it can just take 9 versus a single Terminator dying, which is, like, fine, I guess. The breakpoints are nice. I just don't, like, every list I've ever seen from Emperor's Children, no one takes Terminators. The current system is just taking Flawless Blade Spam. Like, a key issue is going to be like, all right, you've taken Terminators, which means you've sacrificed X amount of things out of your list. The enemy now has to send stuff to go get your expansion point and pull those Terminators off, which By the way, that's 5 OC. So I don't need to kill your Terminators. But I can make them walk through a wall for, like, 2 freaking battle line, or 3 battle line. And then that just depends on the map, too, because some maps, the only way you can stand on the expansion point is, like, there's, like, 2 spots for Terminators, which is just OC2. Which, like, I'll chuck, like, a 60-point Flamer squad on there, make you come through the wall. It's like, alright, man. Make that my go phase everywhere else. I don't know. I don't know if 5 OC for 150 points is worth it. Versus what people currently do, which is get at least 2 rhinos, and then 1 rhino goes to sit on an objective. Which, like, yeah, las cannon could kill. But, like, I don't know. Oh, I was looking at Waha. They haven't updated the points yet. I mean, they also lowered the amount of points for Tormentor Squad. So I think, didn't they lowered the Tormentors to a 5-man squad of terms? Which, I mean, if we want to talk about that, is basically 20 wounds standing on an objective at OC2 and sticky with infiltrate. Like, I feel like we're going to be more in the realm of let's take full 10-mans of Tormentors. Because they're going to be able to start by the expansion point, and then you just string one guy onto the point. Best case scenario, you run in, you kill them. The leader of the unit, 2 melta-guns and 2 plasma guns at the back end. I just pick up units until you can't consolidate into my squad, and then I just advance through, find your leader, and friggin' rip him out of your squad with 2 overheated plasma guns, 2 meltas, and a plasma pistol. Just blah. Blah, blah. Although I could concede the Terminators plus a Cacophonous with a fight first upgrade sitting on that objective. Because then if you're coming through that wall to fight me, you're probably dead. Although I think the fights first upgrade can only go on a, what was it? An Exaltant, so they wouldn't even be able to use it. Balance, data slate. Oh, no, not that. Munitorium. $21. Chaos Terms, 145. Tormentors down to 160. Yeah, you basically, if you take a 10-man squad, in theory, you're saving 10 points. Because for some reason, the 10-man is cheaper. Which I guess is because you only have the one leader, which is the only thing that has a melee weapon that matters in that squad. Which, I mean, at that point, what are we doing? But yeah, Flawless Blades, baby. 100 points, 200 points, let's go. I still don't know what to do with them, though. I mean, you can't. You can't. I mean, you can fill. So, if we're talking... So, okay. Full concept. Max Noise Marines, max Terminators, max Flawless Blades, I think is like 18. Maybe less. And then you just need like a leader of some kind. You completely get rid of your Infractors and Tormentors, and you just run at the enemy. Maybe you use a Terminator squad on home and a Terminator squad on your expansion, and then you have the other Terminator squad going for mid to sit on mid, so that when all the shit that runs through mid is still running, now you just have a Terminator squad sitting in mid too. Or maybe the Noise Marines go to mid, and then you just have a Terminator squad go to the further expansion. Like, what even is that mathematically? Also, who's messaging me? They need 2 more people for the tournament, and I don't want to go to it. No. I'll let this guy in, but I'm guessing something's gonna get weird probably when they start talking. Calculator. So 435 there. 246. And then the alternative would then be... Oh, Terminators and Noise Marines cost the same now. Okay. 1470. Full Noise Marines, full Terminators, full Flawless Blades. That does leave you enough space to easily take a Tormentor squad to just sit on home. So that you don't have to care. Like, you can just leave it there. Whatever. And then just rush Terminators and shit at people. Leader-wise, you're either taking a Lucius to just toss in a Flawless Blade squad or leave on his own and just go. And then just figure it out from there, I guess. I'd almost go so far as to say take as many Mauler Fiends past that point as you can and just friggin' jail someone and hose them down. Probably take this list in Peerless, maybe? No, not Peerless. Phoenician. That way the Terminators can get to strength 10 on charge. And then your Noise Marines, even without a Cacophonist, would still have the ability to one command point actually be kind of good. In a clutch moment. So yeah, that list baseline is 1470. Still kind of sucks that chain fists aren't anti-vehicle, anti-monster. So that kind of screws up the Terminators a little bit. Because that kind of would be the ideal of what to throw into those things. But it's strength 10 and Phoenician. It might not be that bad. It's kind of wish, like I wish that the Pantheon armies that don't have their custom Terminators would get them. Like I'm pretty sure there was like a Phoenician Guard style Terminator for EC, and then of course we had the Butchers for World Leaders. That way they're at least kind of interesting. Man, basic Chaos Terminators just feel bad. No, yeah. They should really be getting funky and experimenting. Because there's not like a major tournament coming up anytime soon, right? Like a massive invitational. Maybe not, though. It depends on the timing, I guess. If there's a massive, like, invitational tourney that's about to be around the corner, maybe not. But if you're about to have an edition swap and you want to try some weird stuff. Because that was kind of Arcs of Omen. Arcs of Omen was what introduced the, hey, don't worry about Force Org, which became the norm for 10th. Because if they're planning on dropping 11th relatively soonish, I feel like most of the big tournaments are end of the year, right? I know they released their schedule. White and gray out to fix some of this armor stuff up here. Can't be too worried about it right now. Let's try one of these big ones. Is this wood? I'll manually paint them in a bit. There's like dots on them that need to be gold, but this is a grouping of pillows holding these skulls in, so I'll have to sort that out. When it gets to the detail stage. The 111 or whatever? Or are you talking about points cost? And that all the heroes that were shown are like $45? Oh, 160 points. Yeah, because it's not each. You gotta take them both. They've got pretty decent rules. But they do really feel like, am I playing Hero Hammer or am I actually trying to win with Tau? Like, there's gonna be that moment where you're like, do I really want to do this or do I want to win with Tau? Because I feel like that point value is going to go to something else that's just like, oh, this is going to go sit on an objective, and if you kill it, I don't care. You've killed it with something that you've revealed, and therefore I will kill you instead. They do have great rules. I don't know if we're going to see them outside of maybe Retail. Which they'd be great in Retail. But I feel like the people that play Retail have been playing that list so long that I don't know if they're going to be interested in changing it up. Maybe. It's kind of the thing I've seen with a lot of Tau players. Like, they get into their rhythm and then they just keep going. So, like, adding new units, I don't know if that's going to move the needle. The other one was the Tyranid, the new Tyranid leader, which apparently I guess the points value for the decent one with like good strength is a little bit high. So you're probably never going to see him used. And then the other variant is so high that you will never see him used. Yeah. The variant that you might see used once in a while is the one with that claw that does 3 damage. Because, like, it's overall stronger than, like, tons of their units. But the points cost for it is a bit high. So it's like, do I want that 3 damage claw, or do I want, like, a big squad of something that's going to take, like, a turn and a half for you to kill? That just fits the role of my detachment better. Spoilers, it's the squad. I might do the other big one after this. Get them out of the way. Because, yeah, like, the Claw's stronger than Norn melee, but that unit's not holding an objective harder than a Norn is. The Claw's better than, like, a lot of their burrower, like the big monster burrowers they have, but those monster burrowers can be really good with their abilities and rules in different detachments. Whereas the Tyranid Prime guy is not. I think the list people would want to put him in is that, like, bulk warrior list, but bulk warriors just never seems to work. And I don't know if this guy's the one that's like, hey, now it works. I think he's just going to be more of the same. Dude, I just want them. I want them. I want to play the 2 games I'm going to get out of them before they get nerfed. I'll play my armor detachment. One of them's going to be the I'm going mid frickin' defiler. The other one will be the I'm going to sit on the expansion point defiler. Or potentially the I'm going to go for the enemy expansion point defiler. People are going to be like, why are you running these? They're not that good. And I'm going to be like, you don't understand my nostalgia. They're still going to have an AP1 damage 2 battle cannon at a time when AP1 damage 2 is quite literally like the worst profile you could give something. What are you going to do? Shoot that at my in-cover Space Marines? Hell yeah. Wood pole. Let's do the other big one. I really want to see the profiles, because they're definitely adding gun loadouts. I'm assuming the nipple guns might be stubbers, and they're just going to replace the combi weapons you could give them with stubbers. They got them nip guns. Which kind of sucks for Thousand Suns, because the handguns were infernal combi weapons, which meant they were like AP 2 damage 1. Which was actually kind of funny for combi weapons. Or combi bolters. That is the hope. The weekend stat card reveal. But I don't know, man. They have historically dropped things where they're like, this is coming. And then it's been like months before they actually go like, all right, pre-orders are going up. It's like, what happened, man? How did this happen? This is another wood pole. Is there a symbol on this bolt pistol? Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Still have to go through my parts to see what I got for them. Pretty sure I've still got a fair bit of Myrmidon shields. Maybe some demon parts for the Imp Children ones. Are those wood? No, that's all metal. Looks like the bulk of this is metal up here. Hard part. Is wood, but not on the bottom. Are these wood too? Oh, goddamn. We'll have to do the wood after the fact. We'll have to get white into the wood areas and then do the wood coloring. Basically reverse trim work. Floor's getting cold. I'm gonna have to go get my slippers. My slips. Let's re-hit this with white. I don't mind doing the reverse trim work. It's like the way to do 1,000 Suns, just to get them to a point where you can just do the reverse work. Let's get the baby worked up. A little cherub. There we go. Big units done. Let me go take a leak. Get my slippers. Burb. Gotta get one of those shaved ice cream makers. Freaking that plus Fanta. I could just eat that all day. Sugar free. Tastes like sherbet. Like one of those like ice cream makers things where it's like just like water and then usually like one of those weird chemicals that gives it the texture of ice cream. And then just pour like 4 cans of 0 sugar Fanta into it and just be done. Make like a tub of it. I'm eating a banana. I'm freaking hungry. Oh, also, Saturday probably not a good day if we're trying to set a time for anything. I gotta pick my sister up like 2 p.m. I feel like my kitchen counter at some point is gonna have like a quesadilla maker, a toaster oven, and then like an ice cream maker just sitting on it. Maybe like an induction heater for friggin' just like pots and pans shit. The fuck? It is Limp Bizkit. What the fuck? Saturday's most likely a no-go. Because 2 p.m. fucking sucks. If it was like right away in the morning, I mean, I could do Friday night, maybe. It would be with the lists we were talking about of just like, I'm going to be done by turn 2 kind of situation. Like, I'll do it, man. Land Raider plus Flawless plus Lucius plus Rhino plus 2 Noise Marines. And that's the army. That's it. Going Rapid Ingress. Noise Marines are in the Rhino. Friggin'. Like, there we are. We made it. I'm down if people are down. I don't know. Would it be 7 o'clock again? Okay, so one of two things. I'll post in the chat. I'll say 7 p.m. Friday. Who's down? And if no one responds, do you want me to build a actual 2K and then it's just you and me? 2K v 2K? Alright, let me... 7 p.m. That's an ampersand. 7 p.m. Range. Well, Friday. Range. Who is able to... Or no, anyone down? So I'll just shoot that out there. Worst case scenario, no one says anything. I can just swing by and we can play. Which might also lead me into trying to find a game on Friday at the store. So I can preempt it. Back to it though with the gold. What up, Peacock? What'd you up to? Just got home from work. Nice. Unless your follow-up statement is because they fired me, and then not so nice. Boring. We've kind of talked it through. We've looked at it. And yeah, I'd agree. It's boring. There's really nothing that happened. They've pretty much secured that the new Tyranid monster is probably not going to be used because it's expensive. The changes to Pantheon I don't think really shift too much. Actual balance shifts don't really feel like anything. I wish they put a little bit more effort into some of the detachments from the Thousand Suns that are underserved at this point. I feel that way for a lot of them. Like, if they could figure out a way to make all the detachments for, like, every faction or army feel at least viable to a degree. Because honestly, that's the thing that I think they really didn't pull off, which it's not easy. I agree. It's not easy to be able to even do this. But the fact that most armies have, like, the one detachment in tournament play that has, like, a 50 to 60% win rate, and then all the others are, like, 20. I feel like there's an issue there. And that should probably be something that they maybe try to, like, work out. But probably won't. But this could have been the moment, man. This could have been the moment where they declared, like, oh yeah, that thing we did where we changed the mutation herd to not allow plus and minus wounds on MVBs. Yeah, we're going to revert that. We're going to make a slight adjustment to it. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm back in, bro. Let's do it. Just something to give us, like, variance when we go to tournaments. Because, yeah, it's Thousand Suns, it's Phalanx, it's Hexwarp. There you go. Are you playing anything else? Well, you lose. Like, feels weird. But we could have used this time before 11th edition to at least tinker with the idea if everything's broken, nothing's broken. Like that weird world. Or at least, like, do some oddity. We did just sit here and converse about the idea of running 3 5-man Terminator squads and Emperor's Children. Because of their points drop. They now cost as much as a Noise Marine squad to take. I still think it's a dumb idea, but honestly, if I had the collection, I'd still probably try it. But I really don't want to buy Terminators for my Emperor's Children. Those are like the two things on my I don't really want to buy it list for Emperor's Children. One of them is the Mauler Fiend, and that's a problem that I don't want to buy the Mauler Fiend. Those are so required. Hell yeah. But that's the thing. The strongest build is that because it's strongest. But then they'll nerf some detachments and be like, that'll fix it. And then those detachments are like 30% win rates afterwards. And then they're like, well, at least they got one that's in the 40s. And they move on, and it's like, I don't know if I like this. This is how we get to the realm of everything being 3 wounds, 5 toughness. And then everyone and their mom has to figure out how to get 3 damage weapons together. And if they can't, then they're probably not going to do well. Four up invulns in as many places as you can put them. And then pog out, ridiculous style. Because, like, honestly, I just want the justification. I want to see the mutant herd detachment used as it's, like, needed now. Where the concept is, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to lose 1 Zangor guaranteed, or maybe 3 Zangors guaranteed to what you're about to shoot me with. I might as well give them the -1 to wound. Like, if we could get to that realm, then I don't know, maybe I understand it. Oh, nice. Wait, do you just have a dog now? Did you just street adopt a dog? I got it from the streets. Oh, nice. I live in a college town, so usually around the time of graduating, the streets get filled with cats. Around the time that they all go home, too, the same thing happens. Like, they basically just let the cat out and then go home for like a month and then come back, and if the cat's around, they'll be like, oh, cool, my cat's still here. Oh, yeah. They don't get them spayed either. The amount of times I've been in, like, the general parking lot of one of the stores I go to and then just, like, looked over and saw just, like, a pregnant cat staring at me from under a dumpster. It's like, Jesus. I hate this. I hate all of this. Basically. It's pretty much just welcome to being feral, and then they just send them out in the streets. It's easier for them to do that than find someone to come over and feed them and let them out and let them in, or whatever they gotta do. For a while there, a lot of them would end up on my brother's doorstep. And then he'd eventually just be like, alright, this is my cat now. I think he had 2 cats that way. Nah, he wouldn't steal it. He knew all the things he had to do to, like, verify that it's not someone's cat. I'd steal a dog, though, yo. The little French bulldog was, like, walking down the street, no collar. And be like, you're mine now, bro. I live in my basement. You just sit there sleeping on my couch. Giving no shits. Heavy weapon. Pew 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 pew. Let's get some jump packs going. Flying base. There's another one. Upside down fleur-de-lis. Seems a little sacrilegious. Ooh, skull knees. How'd my soap bottle go? Oh, there it is. Do it this way. This is like the ending of every Michael Bay movie. Just like a little speech as this was building up. Dropping the key line right before this. Weirdly, over on YouTube, I got a video can't be monetized anymore thing for a video I did like forever ago. Just like out of nowhere. I guess a song that was in it that at one point in time was DMCA free suddenly became DMCA. Time is at 5 o'clock. Might call it here. Get some food, get a workout in. Because I'm just about at the end of the gold that I applied into the palette, so it's always good to stop rather than add more and then stop shortly after. That always sucks. That way I can kind of work on the off-stream ones, which are getting even closer than these. Pretty big thing I'm trying to get done. Hold me now. Boom. Probably just under half done. Another stream tomorrow. Finish out the golds here. But yeah, I got a bunch of them off to the side here that I'm gonna keep working on as my off-stream project. A lot of them are getting to the very end. Mostly just leather straps, which I'll probably do today on them. And then just power weapon-y stuff. But those are for me. Those are my personals. Those are so I can hang out and listen to cool shit. Watch some fun shows. Get some painting done. Ugh. Still much of a journey ahead, though. Probably stream tomorrow. Maybe. Sounds like Max is down for Friday night. We'll have to see. We'll see what's going on. Till tomorrow, though. Later, bitches.